Hello everyone. Today I'll be doing a few 3x3 example solves. In doing so, I thought I would break down my 7.34 PR average that I got at Michigan Championships 2025 to get an accurate representation of what I would do in a time solve. I'll be going over my reconstructions of what I did, as well as some alternate solutions that I think are better, so hopefully everyone can pick up something from this video. Scrambles will be in the description, as well as a full written out reconstruction for each solve. So here's solve 1. This was a 7.07, which was my best solve of the average. Coming out of the cube cover, I see this yellow line, so immediately I'm going to go for yellow. So my cross pieces are here, 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 and here, and my first pair is going to be blue and orange, which will be like this after my cross solution is done. So my cross solution is F D prime R L D, which goes into this, and I track this corner since I know this edge will be here. I see this here, and I now see a free pair. So I'm going to do something like that. Rotate, insert this, and then rotate back, and I see this luckily pairs up. So like that. Now this Olo, I see I get the same corners and the same corners, so I know my headlights will be on the left. So doing this Olo off, and I get GB perm with a U2AUF, like that. So my first comment about this solve is that I can actually set up a free pair with orange and green if I switch up my cross solution a little bit. So we're going to have the same idea, but instead of starting with F, I'm going to do U prime first and then F. So that sets up this like so-called, or like three mover. So I can do D prime, U prime, R, L, D, and this sets up this pair going into the back left, which is nice for look ahead. And then this would be my second pair, which is nice continuation as well. I like that. My other comments about the solve comes right when I'm solving third and fourth pair. So for third pair, I insert this free pair, which sets up this as a free pair as well. Now instead of rotating and doing RUR prime, I could from here do wide F, R, wide F prime, and that sets up this, basically this exact same last layer. Like that. So here's solve 2. This was a 7.28, which was my second best counting time in this average. So immediately picking up the cube, there isn't anything that's super obvious, but I ended up going for white cross. My cross pieces are here, 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 and here, and my first pair is green and red, which will end up being a free pair like this after everything's done. So my cross solution was L, U, F prime, D prime, F2, R prime, D prime. Rotate and then insert this, and that happens to set up this pair for a nice multi-slot, like that. Third pair is this, which I solve with RU, R prime, and then something like that. I rotated back and then did fourth pair with triple inverse sexy. So for Olo, I get F double sexy F prime, and based on this corner pattern, so same. I know that my headlights will be on the right, and I'll have to do a U2 pre-AUF. So this, and then U2 and JB prime, like that. So there's two things that I want to point out about this solve. So the first thing is about third pair. So I chose this as my third pair, and I solved it with a rotation. But there's another solution that is rotationless, and that's by doing F prime, R prime, U prime, R, and then F prime, or F. And that saves a rotation, but it has some awkward F moves, so I'm not really sure if it's better. And that leaves you with last pair being rotationless, like that. The other thing I want to talk about is fourth pair in this case. So I have two options. So officially I rotated and did triple inverse sexy with my right hand because I feel a lot more comfortable with righty turning, and that's not a good excuse. So from this situation, I have two options. I can either solve this pair lefty with that, so left triple sexy, or I can do D like that, and then do right triple inverse sexy and D prime, and basically get the same last layer. Like that. Here's my third solve. So this was a 7.08, which was my fastest counting time. And out of the cube cover, I saw 3 yellow edges pretty easily solved. So I went for yellow. My cross pieces are here, 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 and here. And my first pair is going to be blue-orange, and I track second pair, which is going to be these 2 pieces. So what I did for cross solution was D, L, U, R prime, F, and then solve this pair first, like this. Following these 2, and then I also see blue and red. So that's rotate, solve these 2. And from here, or before I finished solving this pair, I didn't see the remaining corner anywhere. So I deduced that it's going to be in the back right slot. And since I saw that green is facing this way, I know that the yellow sticker is facing towards the back. So I know that it's going to be that case, and I solve it like that. Oh, I didn't predict CP here because I don't know soon CP recognition, so I just did the algorithm, and then I got a Y perm with a U2 AUF. Like that. Now this solution was 67 moves, which is very long, but it just flowed very nicely, so it ended up being a good time. Now looking a bit more into this scramble, there's a few things that I think are cool to point out. So the first one being a totally different cross solution that actually solves a double X cross. So we're going to do yellow cross the same. So D, U, R prime. And then instead of doing just LF, I'm going to do L2, F, L prime. And then I see that this is a pseudo pair that can be solved like this. Like that. I do a wide U to solve left 2 slots. Third pair. And then unfortunate last pair, which I can sledge like that. Now, the last thing is that with the same cross solution, I can change up the pair order and I can get a free pair out of it. So I'm going to do the same solution as what I did officially. Now, instead of doing this pair first, I could do this pair with LR, U2, R prime, U2, insert, and then that sets up this free pair and avoids the bad pair. So here's the fourth scramble. This ended up being a 9.6, which was my worst solve and therefore not a counting time. So right away, this is the only scramble where I really didn't see anything. So I ended up going for white by doing a really stupid solution, by doing something along the lines of, so here are my cross pieces, here, 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 and here. I didn't plan first pair in this case because I was kind of panicking. So I did L, B, L prime, D prime, L, U prime, and then insert that edge there. Now, first pair, I don't know why. I went for this, R, U, R prime, insert back, and I rotate immediately back to this. So, like that. Third pair like this, and fourth pair with a double rotation. OLO, and F perm, like that. Now for this scramble, a better solution for the cross for predicting first pair would be something like what I'm going to show you here. So my first pair will be green and orange here and here, and my cross solution is going to be very similar to what I did officially. So it's going to be same start, but instead of just D prime and then insert, I'm going to do D prime and then U at the same time to set up so these 2 pieces are in the top layer. So something like this, and then that's my first pair, like that. And then you've got options for second pair being this or this. Mind you, they're not that great. So lastly, here's the fifth scramble. This ended up being a 7.65, which clutched the average and ended up being a very good solve for me, considering that I didn't really see much in inspection. So coming out of the cube cover, I didn't really see much, but I decided to go for white. My cross pieces are here, 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 and here, and I settled on this first pair being red and green. So after it's all done, it's going to be this case like that. So my cross solution is going to be L prime, D prime, R, D, F, D2, like that. And then here's my first pair. Now I saw this and immediately canceled into second pair like that, which ended up setting up this pair as free. So rotate, insert, and then rotate back. Here's my last two pieces that I did with left double sexy. Now this OLL, I know from this corner pattern, I'm going to have headlights in the front, like that. And then I get an A-perm with a U2 AUF, like that. So one comment about this solve is that for my cross solution, I could have done something smarter, because I could have set up two free pairs that I now see now that I'm not under pressure of official solves. So instead of doing the cross the way that I did, I could set it up to be nicer first two pairs. So I'm going to do a similar cross solution. So L, D prime, but instead this time I'm going to do U prime, R, D, F, like that. Now I have this, which I can insert like this, and then that sets up this to be nice to go into the back like this. And then I can rotate here and have back slots solved, and then my last two pairs in front of me. So something like this and something like that. OLL, and then U-perm. So that would be a much nicer continuation, but I think my solution was not too bad, considering I got a few free pairs out of that. So that wraps up my thoughts and reconstructions of my 734 official PR average, which I am very happy with, as this is my first official sub 8 average. I hope this helps you visualize what I would do in an official solve, as well as what I would think of during an untimed solve, with the additional thoughts that I left at the end of each solve reconstruction. If you have any questions or suggestions for solutions that I might have missed, please let me know in the comments section, as I'll be very active in them. With that said, thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.